call the roll, please.
Tauschak.
Here.
Herman.
Here.
Matsdorf. Here. Gilson.
Here.
Hildebrand.
Here.
Penkwitz.
Here.
Binder.
Here.
Nelson.
Here.
Let the record show we have a quorum. Next is the pledge. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Before I ask for a motion to approve, we have one clarification. Anna, you want to mention that?
Yes, on 3G, the approval of the alcohol beverage licenses, there was a typo on Bruce's Brown Bottle, City Club, Cozy Bar, Plymouth Tap, and then Wild Shots. It should say Class A beer and Class B beer and then Class B liquor.
So everybody see where that is on the agenda, okay? And then I also want to note the council meeting for August 13th is moved to August 14th. That's a primary date. So just make note of those two. Chair will entertain a motion.
Also move. Second motion.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Nelson.
Yes.
Hildebrand.
Yes.
Matsdorf.
Yes.
Penkwitz.
Yes.
Tauschak.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Binder.
Yes.
Gilson.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Moving on to item 4, the audience portion. This is where we ask people to sign up and be recognized. This is where you do the talking and we do the listening. Tonight, we had Lynn Elmer sign up. Lynn, tell us what's on your mind, please.
The ATV and the UTV industry is becoming to be a big sport and fun time for people, but it's also very profitable for the cities and the businesses that generate from all these riders that are coming. It's a very fun activity. I would like to see Plymouth able to open up their streets to the use of ATV, UTV use. Granted, they have to abide by the laws of the speed that you set for what streets you want to use, like if you want to just keep downtown closed. There's other ways to access all the bars and the restaurants and the little businesses that are downtown and Quick Trip and all that there. They have to abide by the DNR rules. If the kids are in there 18 and under, they have to wear their helmets. You set the rules and how fast you want these units to run. Some of the towns up north where we ride either have a 10-mile speed limit or 25 or 35. They set the speed limit and what streets can be utilized to get to these businesses, besides all the big trails that are out there. It would generate a lot of people coming to Plymouth to showcase our beautiful city, to showcase our beautiful little businesses that we have downtown. It's a fun sport, but also brings a lot of fun people in to showcase everything. And for like us, I got a 6-seat UTV. If I can get to Walmart with it, it saves a little bit more gas than using my vehicle all the time. Or the little businesses, and then be able to get outside the city to ride where we can ride, because eventually they're all starting to open up and that. And up north is becoming a big venue for it. And Claire just opened a big bunch of routes. Near Madison, they're opening it up. I would like to see Plymouth benefit from this. It brings a lot of money in to the cities, to the businesses, and showcase our city. Like I said, you can designate that downtown from Mill Street to the one end off limits for all UTV and ATV uses, because there's other ways of getting to these businesses on the other side of the streets. You regulate the speed you want them to go. Be it 25, 10, 15, whatever, they have to abide by it. They have to abide by the laws of the police said they speed, they get pulled over, they drink, they get pulled over drunk driving. Kids that are allowed to drive the UTVs have to go through a course, but being in the city, you can check out that they have to have a driver's license or a chance to be able to drive those units. I believe it's like 16 or 12 to 16 up that can drive the UTVs as long as they take the course. Anybody from 88 on up has to have that course. And like I said, all the young kids have to have their helmets, and that's a DNR rule. And they have to follow that no matter if they're in the city or in the country. Wherever they're riding, they have to follow the rules, and there are seatbelts on the UTVs. ATVs don't have seatbelts, UTVs do, and they have to wear them. So, yeah, it's a fun sport. It's very profitable. Last year, they registered 26,000 units in the state of Wisconsin. I seen a report how much money revenue it brought in. I can't remember the numbers. It was on Facebook. You get a lot of news from there, from the organizations that put out. Yeah, so I would look forward to talking to a lot of you, and I'll call you in the future and then we can discuss more if you've got more questions. But it's something I would like to see. I'm 67. I enjoy the sport. I can see the benefits of it. And it'd be nice if Plymouth gets into that mode too, and letting people come in and see our beautiful city.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it when people come and talk to the council and give us some ideas. Item 5 is not needed. No items were removed from the consent agenda. I declare a public hearing open for ordinance number 6 of 2024, an ordinance amending 13-1-21 zoning map and of the city of Plymouth, Wisconsin, comprehensive plan, existing land use map, and future land use plan map by changing property from heavy industry to general business. Chair will entertain any comments from anyone. Tim is with us virtually tonight out in sunny San Diego. So welcome, Tim. Do you want to make any comments on this to start it off?
Sure, I'll make some brief comments. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. Yep, so this is a rezoning and comp plan amendment for the LAG building at the Sargento facility. In your packet, it is outlined in orange. The comprehensive plan amendment is to change it from, again, industrial to business, and the rezoning request is from our rezoning district heavy industrial to general business B2. This would alleviate setback issues that the LAG building has, as it is currently now a legal non-conforming structure, and allow them to make updates to their building. At the Plan Commission meeting on May 2nd, the Plan Commission did unanimously recommend the comp plan amendment and the rezoning request as presented. So staff does recommend approval and is happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. With that, the chair will open it up to other questions or comments that they wish to make on the ordinance number 6 change as indicated. I declare the public hearing closed. Chair will entertain a motion on ordinance number 6, 2024 as indicated.
Mayor,
Alderman Hildebrand.
I would make a motion to approve ordinance number 6, an ordinance amending section 13-1-21 zoning map in the city of Plymouth, Wisconsin comprehensive plan.
A second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll on ordinance number 6 amendment, please.
Herman,
Yes.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Tankwitz,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Tauschek,
Yes.
Hildebrand.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Moving on to ordinance number 7, amending section 2-4-7 of the City of Plymouth Code of General Ordinances regarding the Park Committee. Again, I'll ask City Administrator Tim Blakesley for a brief comment. Tim?
Sure. So in November 2023, the Common Council did adopt ordinance number 10 that moved the Parks Committee from a regular committee to one that meets on an as-needed basis. The change was recommended because the Parks Committee was reconfigured from a Parks Board, which has some statutory authority, to a Parks Committee, which is primarily a recommending body. There has been several vacancies on the board. One was a long-term vacancy, and we recently had another vacancy. Due to the more potentially sporadic meeting schedule, staff does recommend reducing the number of committee members from 75. It'll also make this committee easier to secure a quorum for the meeting. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. As Administrator Blakesley said, this was a recommendation back last year. The ordinance number 7 would reduce the park committee from 7 to 5. Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll move that we adopt ordinance number 7.
I'll second the motion.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll on ordinance number 7 amending, please.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Penquitz,
Yes.
Mattsdorf,
Yes.
Tauschak,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 8, resolution number 8 for 2024, approving the compliance maintenance resolution to the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. This is abbreviated CMAR. Tonight, our Director of Public Works, Kathy Austin, is here. Kathy, give us a brief summary, please.
Sure. The compliance maintenance annual report is a requirement by the DNR for our wastewater treatment facility on an annual basis. So the report in front of you today is the reporting for the calendar year 2023. So it goes through each kind of category, influence our collection system, financials, and it gives all of our data that we collect on a monthly basis, kind of more in a summary form. And then it is a requirement that the governing body, which in this case would be the Common Council, review that and adopt the resolution as such. It gives grades per each one, so I'm happy to announce that we got A's in each one, in each category. But do note that the collection system, we did have that overflow due to the collapse of the digester roof. The overflow didn't reach any surface body. The public was notified. The Common Council at the time was notified. But we just have to report that as such. But happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion on resolution number 8, approving the CMAR study.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 8, to approve the compliance maintenance resolution.
We have a first and a second. Any comment? Clerk will call the roll for resolution number 8.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Tauschak,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Mattsdorf,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Penquitz.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 9, new business. Approval of housing study and action plan proposal. I'll ask our city administrator, Tim Blakesley, for a brief comment. Tim?
Sure. So the Ad hoc Affordable Housing Committee collected information over the past year regarding housing needs in Plymouth. The first recommendation from that committee was an R6 high-density zoning district, which was recently approved by the Common Council. The second recommendation was to engage a consultant to really help facilitate a community housing study and action plan. The goals of the plan are the following: looking for potential future housing locations and zoning designations, identifying needed infrastructure upgrades, developing a utilization plan and program, particularly for the TID4 funding and potentially other funding commitments, and developing guidelines for incentives for developers as needed. So the city did go to RFP and received 3 quotes. They're from Redevelopment Resources, Kamwalen, and Bay Lake. The lowest proposal was Redevelopment Resources, but the proposals were all reviewed scored and discussed by the Ad hoc Housing Committee on June 5th. Staff did reach out for feedback or references from Camone and Redevelopment Resources, which were the two firms most highly rated by the committee. In general, the comments from the references spoke very highly of both firms. Currently, the city of Sheboygan is using Redevelopment Resources for a housing study over in Sheboygan. I spoke with the administrator in Sheboygan and has been very happy with the work that Redevelopment Resources has done. So at the meeting on June 5th, 2024, the Ad hoc Housing Committee did move unanimously to recommend the proposal of Redevelopment Resources. The reasoning from the committee was that Redevelopment Resources can piggyback on some of the work that they are doing in the Sheboygan County area. The action plan portion for the policy implementation and really helping support the creation of a new TID policy for the funding, and then the overall project cost. Alder Nelson and Alder Hildebrand and the mayor are on the committee as well to provide some additional comments. So the cost of the proposal is $31,520. The city will receive a distribution from the TID foreclosure in mid-2025, totaling approximately $550,000 following the TID audit. It's been previously discussed that this plan will be paid for via those funds. So in the meantime, staff is comfortable using capital fund balance for any expenses and then reimbursing that capital fund balance once those TID funds are received. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Administrator Blakesley. The chair will entertain a motion so we can discuss.
I'll move that we approve the housing study and action plan proposal.
I'll second that.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? There were some questions regarding the three bid proposals and the 31,000 versus two in the 60s. And I understand, Tim, that you talked with redevelopment to get a better handle of some of their approaches to things, and that's one of the reasons that you feel adequate in recommending them for the 31?
Correct, yes. I spoke with Kristen Fish-Peterson, who is also on the call tonight in case you have any questions. But we spoke. I was very happy with the conversation. I think that they're going to do an excellent job on the study. The most important element of this study for the Ad hoc Housing Committee is really the action plan and implementation. And I think the information that Kristen's provided and her references really show that they're able to help us navigate that path. So yes, very comfortable with the recommendation.
Good, thank you. With that, do we have any other comments? Clerk will call the roll on approving the bid proposal from redevelopment in the amount of $31,520.
Pankwitz,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Tauschek.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. And thank you to the committee for all the work that they did for some 12 months or so. That was a long time in coming forward with that, and we're still working on it. Moving on to item B, approval of Plymouth subdivision number 5 structure and materials bid. Tim, would you give us a brief comment on that, please?
Sure. So in March 2024, the Public Service Commission did issue a certificate of authority for Plymouth substation number 5. So now that that has been issued, staff is moving forward with bidding the various components of the structure. We previously had approved breakers and the transformer. The next bid is for the structure materials. The low bid is from Border States, which is $430,233.10. Our consultants, Forrester Electrical Engineering, does recommend that the low bid for Border States be approved. They reviewed all the qualifications and they reviewed Border States' history, and they do believe that their cost will be the least likely cost over the life of the equipment. So staff does recommend approval of the bid, subject to attorney staff review of the terms and conditions. Just please recall that ANR will be paying 8/11 of this cost for the substation agreement. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion so we can discuss with the caveat of, as Tim mentioned, for subject to attorney and staff review on terms and conditions.
Mayor,
Alderman Tauschek.
I would make a motion for approval of Substation 5 structure and materials bid from Border States Electric for $430,233.10, subject to attorney staff review and approval of the terms and conditions.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll on the bid for $430,233.10.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Tauschek,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Mattsdorf,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Pankwitz.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to item C, approval of utilities battery backup purchase. Tim, would you mind giving us a brief summary on that, please?
Sure. So this was discussed at the committee of the whole meeting 2 weeks ago. The Cleveland Utilities building is now approximately 12 years old and it is showing some signs of aging. Recently, the battery backup system and charger unit has deteriorated and is in need of replacement. So staff got the quote for replacement that was discussed at the committee of the whole meeting for $114,673.28. This battery backup system is not currently budgeted in 2024, but staff does see risk in waiting until the 2025 budget cycle due to outages that could disrupt operations, personnel logistics in an outage, and general city utility and networks and servers. So the proposed 8-hour backup option does match the current system, and the electric utility does have available fund balance to cover these within the 2024 budget. Again, the committee of the whole did provide consensus to move this project forward in 2024. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the purchase for the 8-hour backup of $114,673.28.
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Pankwitz,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Mattsdorf,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Tauschek,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the library air conditioning repair. And Tim, you want to give us a comment on that? And tonight we also have our library director here in case there's any questions that she can fill in answers on as well. Tim, you go first.
Yeah, sounds good. So the Plymouth Public Library is served by several air conditioning units. One of those that supports the first floor is no longer operational and is in need of replacement. The library does not have budgeted funds for replacement this year. Staff does recommend using capital fund balance, which is approximately $995,000 at the beginning of 2024 to fund this repair, since it would typically just be a capital request during the annual budget cycle. Staff does not recommend waiting for this unit as we're getting into the summer months and it's going to put stress on the other AC units. And the cost of the replacement is $11,202. Happy to answer any questions and Leslie can provide any additional detail if needed.
Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion so we can discuss.
I'll move that we approve the library air conditioner repair.
I'll second the motion.
In the amount of $11,202, first and second, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Mattsdorf,
Yes.
Tauschek,
Yes.
Pankwitz,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Hildebrand.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Once again, Tim, thanks for chiming in late from San Diego. Enjoy your education opportunity. Welcome back
Thank you,
soon.
everybody.
Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.